Now, I put up a video a couple of days ago with regards to the chimney effect on the inside of the cladding, and you'll find that video here. Sky has in the last day or so confirmed that in their own investigation, but I'm here now to tell you there is another element to the cladding that, in my opinion, accelerated the fire even more, and I think everyone should know. It's not the insulation, but another element ingrained in the cladding. So stay with me on it, because in my opinion it is quite shocking. Harley Facades have the details on their website about the rain screen cladding that they use, the one that was installed on Grenfell. Now, Harley have two types of cladding on their website, and one is known as PVF2. Now, that may be the wrong way to say it, and if you do know how to say it, put a comment in the box below, but this is how it's written. And they also use polyester powder paint finish. Now, stay with me on this, because what I found out, anybody can find out, and I think it's quite shocking. So let's start with the PVF2. PVF2 is considered non-flammable. Its chemical resistance is exceptional even at high temperatures. Now, I've found various chemical reports on PVF2, and it all led to the fact that it was non-flammable. And then we have polyester powder coat paint finish. Now, according to an investigation done by The Guardian, firefighters, fire safety experts and architects voiced alarm about the speed with which the fire swept across the new polyester powder coated aluminium facade. And we've all seen the fire, we've all seen how quickly it spread. And this was installed as part of the refurbishment to improve the building's insulation and appearance. One architect responsible for several recladding projects said the tower's cladding was designed to include fire breaks, and I mentioned it in the video yesterday on Tuesday, at every floor and around every window. He said that if the cladding was installed correctly, flames should not have been able to sweep through the cavities. But what you've also got to consider is this. Again, according to the investigation, the FPA, the Fire Protection Association, said building regulations did not cover the fire resilience of external cladding. It added that the materials used in cladding systems varied from non-combustible to highly flammable. It is a matter of choice, and clearly some choices are better than others, various people said on the investigation. And the powder coating that was in Grenfell was very highly flammable. Now, I found a video on powder coating, took me a while, posted by the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety. Please be warned, this is quite shocking, and it actually left me open-mouthed when I watched it.
Good afternoon, my name is Inspector Haig with the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety, Fire Inspections Office. Today assisting me is Sergeant Murdoch. What we're going to be doing is a demonstration of the flammability of the powder coating. Sergeant Murdoch is loading up a canister right now. What we've done is we've put a canister with your product. We've run an air line from the canister to a straight air cylinder. It's not oxygen now, it's just straight breathing air, regular air. We're going to attach a flare here, and y'all are going to see what happens when your powder is exposed to flame for any length of time. Alright? 3, 2, 1. Listen, the whole purpose of this demonstration is to show y'all what this product can do if air and heat are introduced. In the contaminant areas that y'all have, you have both free oxygen and you have a ton of heat. Alright? Those air scrubbers have to work all the time. If you don't remove this dust product from those appliances, this is going to happen. Alright? It's just a matter of when. Alright? So that's the end of our demonstration today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Shocking, isn't it? That, with the combination of the passive fire protection removed and sprinklers not put in, them residents didn't stand a chance. If you are a resident watching this, or if you know a resident, show them this video and point them in the direction of the information I'm going to put in the description below. Now, I've looked at Harley's website, the company that provided the cladding. Harley, and what the media won't tell you is the names of the managers, but they are on their website and the address of the office if you feel you need to contact them. Also is a list of other projects this company has worked on. Now, what I would like to see happen if I was a resident, all, and I mean every last sheet of cladding that Harley have in stock should be confiscated, and they should cease works on projects now today, pending investigation. One of the managers should show their face and present a statement rather than putting a post on their website. But what you also have to consider is who signed off the building. That name will be somewhere and it won't be hard to find. As I've said, I've worked in the construction industry before and I've had papers and looked at drawings, and you could probably find their name in less than an hour. Questions need answers now. Credit to the Sadiq Khan. He wants a preliminary report this summer. I say in the next week. But people are critical of Jeremy Corbyn of political gain. Is it political gain to try and stop people dying from further errors in towers like this? People are still hailing the leadership of Theresa May of the Conservatives, and yet their Home Minister last year, now Chief of Staff, sat on a report to try and change fire regulations. Eric Pickles refused the sprinkler system should be made mandatory, and he was a Conservative. Your own Prime Minister, the Prime Minister that some of you voted for, doesn't even have the decency, the compassion to meet the people that have members of their family killed in Grenfell Tower. Not died, killed, in my opinion. And am I politicising this? You're fucking damn right I am. It's political that the sprinkler system wasn't made mandatory. It's political that a Conservative didn't push through a regulations report, and you voted for this party. Some of you voted for this party because they might get us a good deal on Brexit. It's madness. They are going for talks on Monday, but we don't actually have a government. The Tories alone, them alone, are making a farce out of our political system. And if the people walking our streets are working their butts off and they're not having their voice heard when they have concerns on fire safety on the very building that they live in, our government, the Conservatives, the local councils don't care. Now, purely to remind you, this is the video once again of the flammable qualities of powder coating that apparently was put on Grenfell Tower. It will play at the end. Thanks for watching. Comment in the box below. Look at the info in the description and click subscribe. As I say, here's that video again. Bye bye for now.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Now the latest in our ongoing investigation into residential apartments built with highly flammable imported cladding. As Martin King reports, there's been a significant development.
Well, Shireen, there's your building over there. You were excited about moving into it originally.
Yes.
What are you now?
I'm depressed. Absolutely depressed. I hate coming back to it every day. Oh!
Did you actually hope to make money out of it eventually one day?
Well, eventually, yes. You'd expect all property prices to go up, but not down 100,000.
First, there was the shock of the fire. Now, there's the aftershock. Still stunned apartment owners hit with a multi-million-dollar order to replace illegal cladding encasing their building.
I'm gutted. I'm shocked.
It was bad enough, says Shireen Bungar, that her apartment tower went up in flames, caused by a cigarette and highly flammable, non-compliant Chinese cladding. But this, an order from Melbourne City Council making apartment owners responsible for someone else's mistake, really burns her up.
Exactly.
It was the fire that should never have happened, and it happened because of epic regulatory failure, confusing building regulations, and governments asleep at the wheel.
It's potentially a death trap, and people are unsafe in this building as it stands.
Scott Williams from the Fire Services Association warns that hundreds of buildings around Australia are encased in similar highly combustible cladding and are potential death traps.
What's the process here? Who says it's okay for these people to move into this building, these residents?
So the final is the actual building surveyor who makes the recommendation. They make that recommendation to the council, and ultimately, obviously, it's the council which has to give the permit to occupy this building.
Who checks?
The building surveyor is the practitioner in the process that determines design complies with the code.
To untangle some of that red tape, or try to, we spoke with Jared Edwards, head of the Victorian Building Authority. Who checks the private surveyor?
Well, the statutory process, the law doesn't provide for an additional checking step to the surveyor.
So no one checks the checker?
The Victorian Building Authority is a regulator for building works, and the VBA has a responsibility for monitoring the performance and functions of building surveyors in the discharge of their function and activity.
The short answer is Melbourne City Council gave the final sign-off. Now the council that gave the okay is giving apartment owners the KO.
So there's your building over there, Shireen, and here's your building order from the Melbourne City Council.
Yep.
The City of Melbourne, you have to have, the entire building has to be rectified.
Yes.
It could cost up to $20 million to rectify the building, or $40,000 for each owner.
Well, where do we even get the money from? That's my question. Who's got $20 million?
Here's a clue. Peter Devitt, the owner of the building company behind the cladding catastrophe, LU Simon, lives in this $20 million penthouse in Melbourne. Not so long ago, he sold this house in Toorak for $18.5 million.
Do you have $40,000 lying around for complete waste that wasn't even our fault?
Shireen, what does that do to you?
I have completely lost faith in everything here, in justice, in the building council, regulations, everything. How could this have happened?
My question to you is, why are the owners responsible?
I don't know. This is what we're trying to understand. What happened to, Sale of Goods Act, for example, fit for purpose and all of that? Where did that go?
Did you put the shonky cladding on?
No.
So why are you responsible?
Good question. So somebody needs to answer this.
Who should be paying?
Well, the builder, of course.
Now, with the likelihood she may have to fork out up to $40,000 for repairs plus legal costs, this lacrosse owner is very, very cross indeed.
So you're up for a blue?
I am.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, tonight Melbourne City Council has called a meeting with apartment owners to discuss the order. They'll be told they have 30 days to appeal. You can read a statement from the builder, LU Simon, on our website.